Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Duncan, the host of the TXK State of Mind podcast and our weekly episodic series, the TXK Conversation. Tonight, we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Jay Davis. He's going to be on hand with us tonight to talk with us about Pitch It, everything that's going on with that, as well as a new program that he's working with called the Assembly Line. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, welcome Mr. Davis to the stage.
Glad to be here. How are you doing, Jeremy?
Doing good, doing good. We had a little chance to kind of chop it up before we got started. So I want you to try to give us a background of what you do. I know you're a faculty over at Texas A&M, Texarkana, and you're doing a lot of things with Pitch It and several other things that relates to entrepreneurship. But I wanted to give you an opportunity just to give us a little background of who you are and then kind of bring us up to how Pitch It got started.
Sure. No, lifelong resident of Texarkana and currently the executive director of financial and entrepreneurship engagement at Texas A&M Texarkana, and been there since actually December, so relatively new to the role. But one of the scope of responsibilities of my position is going to be the development of the assembly line that you referred to, and super excited about that. It's going to be an incubator space. It's going to be located just off state line. And really excited about what that is going to bring those that have that entrepreneurial spirit as far as resources. And, there's this event that we're going to be discussing tonight, Pitch It Texarkana, is in its third year. And there was some discussions on, taking it to the next level and it really growing. And the volunteers that have been involved the last 3 years have done a phenomenal job. Right. And it just makes sense to allow this event to fall under the umbrella of the assembly line. And so that is going to be what I champion moving forward, and just making Pitch It, grow and get better each and every year.
All right. So it's been going on for 3 years now. So what was the thought behind Pitch It? We see a lot of these things that are on TV, dealing with entrepreneurship. You see it on Facebook, people trying to teach you how to start LLCs. So what was the overall motivation behind bringing something like Pitch It to the Texarkana area?
Well, we've got a phenomenal organization in town called Leadership Texarkana. And Leadership Texarkana brought in a new thought process of making Texarkana better, and part of and it's called strategic doing. And okay. it basically just started with a group of those that were sitting around a strategic doing, session, and just wanted something that was going to be able to bring on some economic development in our area. And they really started pitching the idea of having some sort of an entrepreneurial contest. And so that's what this came about. And just to make sure I don't butcher it too bad, I'll read exactly what the imagine if prompt is. But right. Imagine if Texarkana, USA were a magnet for talent and entrepreneurship in our region. That's what started the conversation. And right. So 3 years later, here we are with 51 registrants going after our grand prize of $7,500.
So how do you guys go about whittling that down? You got 50 more entrants that you're going to be looking at next Tuesday. How do y'all whittle that down to the semifinals, quarterfinal, final process to have that final group?
Well, we definitely couldn't do this without all of our many volunteers. But I believe our judges, the number of judges is at 18. And so what we have done is we are going to have 3 judges in a room, and those judges are actually going to be judging 10 of the registrants, and one room is going to be judging 11. But they'll go through a process starting around 4:00 on Tuesday, March 26th, and they've got 3 minutes to share their idea, thought, product, or whatever it is that they're wanting to pitch. And the judges will then whittle their 10 down to 2. And then so with us having 5 judges rooms, that's going to allow them to put 2 forward. And so the finals will be 10 of those pitches. And that's when the excitement is going to start. Right. And the community is definitely invited to come out to Cross Ties, which is where we're going to have it. And doors will open up at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, March 26th. with the first pitch going on around 6. And so super excited about, what's going on, March 26th here at Pitch at Texarkana.
So what are some of the things that with the 51, that's a large group. So what are some of the things that your organization is doing to kind of assist to help these groups or these teams prepare for those pitches, those presentations?
Sure. Well, we make available some resources, for them to be able to gain access to. We've got recordings of previous years contestants so that they can sort of see what's been successful in the past. One of the things that we just did on Monday of this week is we brought in the United States Patent and Trademark Office did a virtual session for all of our registrants that were available to be able to go over just some basics on what you need to do if you need a patent, what you need to do if there's a trademark, because if one of these registrants' idea ends up being something that is patentable or trademarkable, there's a timer that starts. And so, it's good that they know that now. So just in case they do have that $1 million idea, they can go ahead and, and they know what the process is now to be able to go through the patent or trademark or whatever it is they can do to protect their intellectual property.
Wow, that's really neat. So it's an opportunity for them, whatever the item is in their product they're producing or want to produce, can actually take them, be able to get that patent, and they can kind of spread that out across the country. So absolutely. I know that you guys have been doing this for 3 years. For some of the contestants or winners in the past, what are some of the ideas that you've seen that have not only just won, but hit the mark about we can see this being something long-standing, lasting for a long time with a lot of longevity?
Sure. No, last year's third place winner was Felicia Coopwood, and she's actually going to be available on March 26th to talk about her journey that she's had this past year. But she developed Healing Drops mobile IV infusions. And so I have seen her throughout this year at different events, and she's done very, very well with that. And we're also going to have our second place winner from last year, Remy Guitars, come on, and I believe they're actually going to bring some of their guitars that they have made, and we'll be able to hear some music from them and have them sort of tell their story on how Pitch It has impacted them this past 12 months. And, so we're excited about, where Pitch It's been. I believe we've awarded over $23,000 in the last 2 years. And this year we're looking at awarding right at $15,000. So first place is going to get $7,500, second place $5,000, and third place $2,500.
Wow, that's a good deal. That's a really good deal. So with the winners, so you get 3 winners, first, second, third prize. So reading on your Facebook and on your website, I saw that the money is like dispersed out, where it has like benchmarks or milestones they have to achieve. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, what we'll do is we'll actually cut a check for at least a third of it the night of the contest. Okay. And so, the first place, they'll get $2,500 the night of. And then what we'll do through the process is as they go through, let's just, we'll say Healing Drops. If Healing Drops comes back and says, hey, we want to spend another, $2,000 on marketing, then that's what they'll do is they'll say, hey, I've gone through, my first third, I'm ready to get my second third, and we'll pay that out over 3 tranches, and that way they can sort of better help manage those funds as well.
Okay, that's really good. So is there like a mentorship aspect to it, or they assign mentors to kind of help guide them through the process?
We've got those available. There some of the previous winners have taken advantage of that, and I would definitely recommend that they do. That's one of the things. All of our judges are bringing something to the table with either they've started a company or they've expanded a company or they've brought an idea to fruition, and so we've got plenty of resources for them to be able to tap into. I know that there's been a lot of conversations, with our previous winners in the past, and it's been fun watching them grow.
Right.
With some of those resources that they've had. And some of the things that they've been able to do with the funds that they've won to just take their product or technology to the next level.
Okay, so with the organization of it, is this specifically something that the chamber is doing, or is it like a combination of different organizations that's come together to kind of make this an event that can grow Texarkana?
Well, what's been so good about this is that it's really been a grassroots operation. This
Right.
has been started by a group of young people, and it's really been exciting watching the Chamber of Commerce come on board and watching
Right.
Artex Ready come on board and watching all of our higher education institutions come on board, and then all of our many sponsors. And I will take the time. We
Right.
could not do this without our sponsors. And
Right.
our presenting sponsor this year is Red River Credit Union. And they stepped
Yes.
up big, and they're basically covering the first place award. And so we're super excited to have them on board and have them a part of that. Their president and CEO is going to be there the night of to be able to issue out the big checks. And so we're super excited to have them on board, to be able to help this. But it really has been a community event. We've got business owners, we've had corporations, we've got all our higher ed behind this. So it's
Right.
really been fun to watch how this has developed over the last 3 years.
Man, Jay, I really think this is a really big jump off point for Texarkana, especially because you see a lot of entrepreneurs around town. Whenever you have this, I know different organizations have small business expos. If you go down to Texarkana Live, you see the different businesses that are open, but you also see a lot of businesses that are popping up around town, and they can use some of the things that you're going to be doing, not only through Pitch It, but also through the assembly line with this incubator. So for people who don't know what an entrepreneur incubator is, talk a little bit about that, because I had an opportunity from living in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to kind of see the incubator that they have and how they're going about taking those probably food trucks and little pop-up businesses and helping them move into brick and mortars, but also providing them with timely training on how to run their business, how to do accounting. So what do you foresee the role of the assembly line playing with Pitch It, but also building the entrepreneurial spirit in Texarkana?
Well, I think the assembly line is going to be able to expand what Pitch It is offering, and so with that, it's going to become more resources. But the incubator space, the assembly line itself,
Right.
is really going to be a resource for those with an idea or a product,
Mm-hmm.
or they want to start a business. One of the things that you're really seeing a lot of popularity with for folks that have an idea is being able to take that idea from a computer software program and then maybe build that with a 3D printer. And
Right.
so I can foresee the aspects of having a 3D printer available. Someone's out there they're a machinist, or
Mm-hmm.
they're on a manufacturing line somewhere, and they think that, man, if this part right here was just bent at a different degree, I know it
Right.
could be more efficient, or I know it could
Right.
be make my job a lot easier. And if they don't have the tools to be able to sort of maybe make that a reality, it may just stay an idea. And
Mm-hmm.
so we want to be able to provide a place where if someone's got an idea for a product, or if someone has an idea for a new business, we're going to have resources in-house that folks can come in and say, okay, here's my idea. How do I make a
Right.
business plan? And so then we can go down and we can work with them to create a business plan that they can
Mm-hmm.
then take to a lender and be able to say,
Right.
here's my idea. I'm needing some money for some capital. This is how my balance sheet is going to look, or this is what I'm projecting out. And then there's also going to be avenues that we're going to be able to put people in front of that maybe they don't check all the boxes for lending from a bank, but
Right.
we'll be able to use whether it be SBA loans or going through SBDC. There's going to be all sorts of other resources that maybe we can find some funding to be able to take that to the next level. And then, of course, office space. We're going to have a very, very good conference room with the technology that's going to be needed. Whether you could run a podcast like this, and be able to have that technology already there. And then just be able to have access to experts. So we'll be able to bring in entrepreneurs here locally to be able to discuss. These are some of the things I would do differently, or these are some of the things to be looking out for, in year one or year two. And then something as simple as bringing in a lawyer or a team of lawyers to be able to discuss the importance of and why they want to create an LLC to put this company under, and the benefits that would take. And then, of course, we're definitely going to keep our relationship going with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and be able to bring them in as a resource for that. So, there's going to be all sorts of ways that we're going to be able to, impact our local community. I can definitely see with the different collaborations between all of our higher ed in the area. Texarkana College is behind this, University of Arkansas Hope Texarkana, and of course my employer, Texas A&M Texarkana. We're all behind this incubator space to make this a successful venue for those that do have that next $1 million idea.
Man, that's really exciting. I know I like the podcast idea because I'm looking at different consultants that can look at how to help me grow what I'm trying to do now. So that'd be good. I can have somebody in the Texarkana area that I can go to and get some timely knowledge of how I can create something better. And I think that's going to be helpful to a lot of the small businesses that are out here just starting. I often hear stories about, I just started with $500 and I had my bumps and bruises, but I'm here now. But with something like the assembly line and pitch it, that can kind of help you not so much avoid it, but prepare for some of those pitfalls that you might experience as an entrepreneur. So I'm thinking this is going to be a really good thing for the people that not only come through pitching, but the ones that can benefit from the assembly line when you guys get it up and running. So is this something that you guys are doing in the background right now until your actual brick and mortar get done, or is it going to be a grand opening for assembly line later on at a later date?
Yes. So what this the assembly line right now has basically been in an advisory group that has been made up of both cities, our economic development group here called RTX Ready, and of course the three higher ed facilities that we have here. And so the city of Texarkana has actually purchased the building that the incubator space is going to go into. And the RTX Ready organization is actually going to lease that building and operate it from a maintenance standpoint. And then the Texas A&M Texarkana University, we're actually going to supply the employees to be able to run the day-to-day and develop the programming, and provide that leadership role. And then we've got benefits coming from the University of Arkansas, Hope Texarkana, as well as Texarkana College. One of the things that I think everyone in Texarkana can appreciate is, we have so many culinary entrepreneurs here, with either food trucks or baking, or just having meals prepared for those that aren't able just to go home and cook that meal for their family. So there's going to be opportunities for us to be able to tap into that resource, and maybe provide them with some additional resources to be able to up their game. And so, I think, with like Texarkana College, they've got a phenomenal culinary program. And so to be able to bring them in and maybe, have some internship opportunities, can really, really, have a huge impact. The business college out here at Texas A&M Texarkana is ripe with just young people that have ideas and what they want to do and start their own business. And so there's going to be some easy collaborations between the assembly line and Texas A&M and University of Arkansas Hope Texarkana, and then just bringing in the expertise of the leadership of RTX Ready.
Right.
and just bringing in that, especially if we can really find that one business or one company that can really make a huge difference in our area. We're going to have plenty of resources to be able to get them running in the right direction.
That's amazing. I know coming from, like I talked to you earlier, we just moved back from here from San Antonio. And there you kind of see what you're talking about in the play. They have especially for the food service type things that are going on, because that's a big thing there. With all the food trucks, they have these food truck parks. They have these what they call these commissary kitchens where they can go and have an actual space to prep all those things, get some timely classes by food safety and things of that nature, so they can kind of also give the customers a good meal, but also make sure they're safe with the items they're providing them. So this is going to be a really big thing for Texarkana area. We have a lot of revitalization going on. You see the different businesses that are popping up. You see new schools being built. In my old Pine Street area, when I used to go there, I see that they're building a new elementary school there. That's going to really not only just help Texarkana, it's going to put life back into that area. So I think with what you're doing with Pitch It and the assembly line, that's going to allow us to continue to grow, continue to be able to push that entrepreneurial spirit. Because if you listen to everything on YouTube or you listen to the news, small business over time has been what has helped our economy grow, our communities grow. And I think that's going to be the thing that's going to allow Texarkana to be rebirthed, so to speak, with the different businesses that are coming through pitching and through the assembly line. So what else are they going to be doing? I'm going to circle back to the actual competition on the 2026.
Sure.
So with the presentations, are they going to be limitations on the type of presentations that they give, the type of number of people they can bring with them to do the presentation, different tools they can use? So what are some of the guidelines for that night as it relates to the presentations?
Sure. The biggest guideline is in the name itself, Pitch It.
Right.
So it's all about your pitch. And for the preliminaries, they're going to have 3 minutes to be able to impress the judges enough to get them into the finals. And then for the finals, we're actually going to give them 2 additional minutes to be able to share, what their product or idea or business or whatever it is that they're wanting to present. But in order to really keep it on a level playing field, it is you and the judges. So there's not going to be any type of video that you can make beforehand, or any type of PowerPoint presentation or any other digital presentation. It's going to be you delivering what what you're there to present to the judges. And so it ultimately is going to come down to their ability to be able to convince the judge and persuade the judges into, 1, moving them into the finals, and then 2, getting them into the top 3 where the money is.
Wow, that's really good. So this is really set up to be just like the Shark Tank on TV, where they have to come in and pitch it to those judges, and they decide if that's going to be something that's going to move the needle related to that product. Man, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to be there on Tuesday night.
Now that sounds good, and you mentioned that. So we would love to have as many of our community members there as possible. pitchattexarkana.com. They can go online and get their tickets. $10, and you're also going to get a drink ticket. So it's not like it's really costing you $10 to get in the door.
Right.
But we are going to be opening the doors at 5. And one thing that we're adding new this year is we've got a young man who has opened up a workout facility in downtown Texarkana, Lucas Waka, and he has opened up a Waka Resolution. And we're going to have him there at 6 p.m. And we're going to do an interview with him on, his entrepreneur spirit, on why he, came back to Texarkana. He was a very good athlete here locally at the high school level, went and played collegiately, had a stint in the NFL and CFL and XFL. And, he came back to Texarkana and has started a new business and is doing well. And so we're going to be able to get some nuggets of knowledge, from him that possibly some of our registrants can take on, and those that are in the audience, But for $10 on a Tuesday night, you can't beat it, and you get a drink.
Right. Right.
And so we would love for everyone to go to pitchattexarkana.com and get a ticket, because it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to just the networking that's going to be available from 5 to 6. We're going to have some opportunities to be able to mingle throughout the room. And so I'm excited about the whole day on March 26th.
Yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed evening. For all the people that are watching, that are going to be watching during the replay, I'm going to have in the credits the actual flyer that talks about Pitch It. Again, it's $10 per night for the night. There's going to be a QR code on that flyer. You can use your iPhone, be able to click on it, bring it in, purchase those tickets. Get there and see these entrepreneurs pitch their products. So, because even though they may not be the winner, they're going to get valuable experience of how they can be able to scale up their ideal of their business that they're trying to bring to the community. So I just advise you, I encourage you to come out. Mr. Davis was gracious to come on tonight to talk with us about it. There's 51 contestants. This is going to be a range of people from the technology to the field to the economic, that you're going to be able to see a broad spectrum of potential entrepreneurs that you may frequent or do business with in the community later on down the road. So before we end, is there anything else that you want the people to know about Pitch It, the assembly line, or if they want to get involved as a volunteer to kind of help out, use their talents? The floor is yours.
Well, the one thing that I want to do is just make sure that I brag on the venue. Right. Cross Ties has done everything that they can to make this a successful event for the community. They've opened it up for us to be able to do some walkthroughs already, and we've sort of fine-tuned exactly how we want that facility set up for this event, and they have been more than accommodating. So definitely appreciate all the effort that Cross Ties has done for us. And then, in regards to moving forward, we would love for anyone who wants to be a part of this moving forward. Go to pitchattexarkana and .com and click on the email, send us your information. We would love to be able to start planning next year's event. I've actually already got a meeting set up about a month after the event's over, just to sort of recap all the many positive things that we've seen, and maybe there's some things that we can do differently next year. But we're just super excited. And if I can, I do want to share a few more of our sponsors' names, just because we can't do this without our sponsors. And once again, Red River Federal Credit Union really stepped up big as our presenting sponsor this year. But I'm going to read off a list just to make sure I don't miss anybody. But Mayo Furniture, Kelly Morgan Foundation, Texas Pioneer Foundation, Commercial National Bank, they've all come through this year as gold sponsors for us, and definitely appreciate what they've done. Same thing with Ledwell. And then our silver sponsors, University of Arkansas, Hope Texarkana, Express Employment Professionals, Red River Lumber, CTM Hospitality, which is Nukes, and then Texas A&M Texarkana, and Robbins Toyota, follows up those silver. And then bronze, we've got Texarkana College, the city of Texarkana, Texas, and the Arkansas side, both coming on board. Guarantee Bank and Trust, Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital, State Bank, and Gables Gifts and Gratitudes. And then, one of the things that I think goes unnoticed a lot of times is we've got so many organizations that give their expertise and their services for free as well. And Texarkana Magazine, Fabco, Town Square Media, and Ship Media came in large this year with in-kind donations. So could not do this event without them. And then, the many volunteers that we have, and it's funny because every time I say that I'm going to thank them, they're like, we don't want it. But we've got a great group, and I will be giving them some love on March 26th. So come on out. 5 p.m. is when the doors open. You can go ahead and get that free drink knocked out before 6 p.m. We'll have Lucas Waka, entertaining us with his expertise on starting a new business here in Texarkana. And then the fun starts. We're going to have 10 live pitches. And out of those 10, 3 are going to go home with money that night.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Before we close, everyone, again, I'd like to thank Mr. Davis for giving us the opportunity to speak with him about Pitch It. I hope to get him back on later on to kind of discuss the winners and hopefully get to speak to some of those. Coming up next week, we have another guest. We're going to do it on Monday, the 25th. We have the director, Miss Bruce from We Are Washington Foundation, Community Foundation, coming on, and they're going to talk to us about all the great things that they're doing with the youth within Texarkana, especially on the Arkansas side. They have a really wonderful program that they revamped in the historic part of Texarkana, Arkansas. So they're going to be on hand to talk to us about all the different events they have coming on, the structure of the organization, and all the great things that they're doing in the community. As always, Texarkana, what's your state of mind? We thank you for joining us.